Good evening. It is Sunday, October 26, 2025, and it's time for Danimal Stories. Sponsored tonight, as always, by Smiling Dan, too. Fan him up. I'm sure he's in the stream right now. A bit of an unusual story because instead of reading from the news, I'm going to read you a Wikipedia article. The star this week is Francine the Cat. Now, Francine has a colorful history, and because of recent events, it's easier to give you the background and give you the full story from reading from the Wikipedia article than any of the news articles. But we'll get into it, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit later. In any event, Francine the Cat, Francine, also known as the, quote, Lowe's cat, is a cat that lives at the Lowe's number 1037. That is the Lowe's hardware store, all right? Lowe's number 1037 on Broad Street in Richmond, Virginia. She disappeared in September 2025, but was later returned to the store. She has been described as a, quote, beacon of the community, unquote. Here's some background on her. Entry into the store. She first entered the Lowe's lawn and garden area in 2017. She initially sustained herself on mice and refused to let humans near her. But after employees noticed that she looked thin, they started to feed her. She formed an especially close bond with one employee and became outwardly friendly after about 18 months. Despite being free to leave, Francine remained at the store ever since until her disappearance in September of 2025. Life at the store. She is a calico cat with black and brown patches of fur by her ears, is short-haired, and has been described as, quote, very friendly and calm, as well as very welcoming to all who wanted to pet her and take photographs. The store and its associates take care of her food, water, and veterinary needs with assistance from the community. Francine has a microchip that identifies her home as the Lowe's store. Her favorite spot in the store is the stack of boxes between the registers and the lawn and garden section. Francine's fame. While Lowe's initially did not approve of her presence, they eventually embraced her with a YouTube video. She is especially popular on a subreddit. She has been described as one of Richmond's most famous residents and a mascot for the city. Many customers visit the store solely to visit Francine or bypass nearer stores in favor of number 1037 because of her. One employee said that the store perhaps receives more visits from people looking to see her than actual customers. Some have tried to remove her from the store. Now, you know Monopoly, the board game? Beside the classic one that's all over the world about American enterprise, many cities, Milton Bradley has made specific Monopoly games for many cities, including a version for Richmond, Virginia. Monopoly included a community chest card directing the player to, quote, visit the Lowe's cat Francine, and its official Richmond edition of the game, and a print of the cat made by a local artist hangs in the store. The cat gained increased notoriety in 2024 when she was featured in a YouTube video. During the 2024 mayoral election, signs popped up around the city saying, quote, elect Francine for whatever she wants. The cat received 8 votes. She won Richmond, Virginia's most unlikely icon of 2024 as presented by Style Weekly. Now, a little bit about the mystery. Her disappearance. Initial events. Francine was last seen on September 17, 2025. Reports indicated that on September 18th, she got into a truck bound for a Lowe's distribution center in Garysburg, North Carolina. On September 20th, staff there opened the doors, saw a cat, and then closed the doors to prevent her from escaping while they called the SPCA to come take it. However, an employee uninformed of the plan then opened the doors, allowing her to escape. At the time, it was not confirmed that the cat in the trailer was indeed Francine. Search. 2 local residents who enjoyed seeing Francine at the Lowe's created an Instagram account, Where's Francine?, which within a few hours had 400,000 views. It quickly garnered 5,000 followers and later 10,000, and help spread awareness of and information on the search. There was an online spreadsheet which also coordinated by the group to aid in collaboration for the search effort. People behind the search called themselves Task Force Francine. The distribution center coordinated with the search and asked the public not to call unless it was information of her whereabouts. The SPCA planned to send staff with traps if permission from the distribution center was received. On the evening of Sunday, September 28th, Where's Francine announced that a search party was going to be sent on the morning of Monday, September 29th. 8 volunteers went, along with 2 Richmond SPCA workers. They hung pictures, searched the words for her, and talked with locals. While Lowe's denied them access to the facility due to safety concerns, they said that they brought in experts from a local animal shelter to aid in the search, thanked people for keeping an eye out and their outpouring of support, and urged people to call the store directly if they had any information. Northampton County Animal Control officers were allowed to access the facility and planned to set trips and provide updates to the Instagram account. They were put in charge of the search with help from the task force. They set humane traps to help look for her. The task force brought a blanket favored by her and her cat carrier to help with the search. A $2,000 reward was offered for anyone who helped facilitate Francine's return by Cats RVA, a local organization that engages in the trap, neuter, and return work. Flyers promoting the reward were placed around the facility. Thermal drones were brought in to help with the search. And asset protection staff monitored the network of 246 existing ones at the facility. Participating organizations in the search included Northampton County Animal Shelter, Thermal Bird, Carmen Brothers Professional Pet Trappers, Richmond SPCA, Richmond Animal Care and Control, SOS Cats RVA, and Best Friends. Reactions. News of her disappearance dominated the subreddit over the weekend of September 27th. A medium offered her services. That's someone who, dives into your background through your mind and, tries to figure things out. GWAR, a local heavy metal band, participated in the search. Her search was compared to a search for Bagel the Beagle. Now we're going to have to research Bagel the Beagle. One of the people behind the Instagram accounts praised the outpouring of support received for the cause and said that it demonstrated that Richmond was a, quote, great but weird place to live, unquote, while a Richmond SPCA official said that the response was encouraging and inspiring, demonstrating the community's compassion toward animals in need. Axios Richmond said that Richmond had not been this unified since the Virginian Commonwealth University made it to the Final Four in 2011, and noted that a Reddit commentator said that, quote, this is the biggest emergency in Richmond since the water system failure, unquote. Now, the story goes on, and so we're going to break it off here, and we're going to make this a 2-part story. We'll have the follow-up on Wednesday, of course, so join me then. And in the meantime, we're going to get back to the best music on You Now. Thanks to Smiling Dan, too, for sponsoring this segment. Please fan him up when you see him in the stream, and we'll be back to that best music on You Now in just a minute.